All right, so here's the next thing that I want to focus on today. We're going to talk about in the close, but we're going to talk about one specific thing in the close. So we have the retail close, we have qualification, and we have the major close. That's not 10 minutes, folks. Next time you won't come back in. So we have the retail close, we have qualification, and we have the major close. When you are getting ready to do the close, you should have your iPad order ready in the presentation mode. So it doesn't have the itemized pricing. It just has one total at the bottom. The only thing you have on your presentation sheet, you don't have anything checked, you don't have any numbers written, is their name and their date. And you've got several blank pieces of paper or a pad in front of you. When you're in the close, the two most important things is nose and time. Did we all hear the number of people that were in the top 10 who were talking about they were slowing down in the close? They were spending a couple of hours in the close. They spent 5 and 6 hours in a home. So how do we get this kind of time in the close without it getting weird? How do we do that? I'm going to tell you. What's that? But you do with conversation, but with questions, you keep them talking. But the number one way for you to have a conversation and to slow it down. So before I give you the number one way, why is it important to take our time in the close? Why is slowing it down such a valuable tool?
Well, you're gonna bring the emotion down to flip them to the logical side of their brain. Because if you sell them high emotion, you don't bring it back down to logic, they're going to cancel on logic, number one. And then number two, your energy is relaxing them. And you're the energy to cool them off a little bit so that way you can have a real conversation.
Cool them off a little bit. So we know to be dynamic and energetic when we're doing the presentation portion. We don't want to bore them and have them fall asleep on us. All of a sudden they have to go somewhere. But when you're in the close and you're talking about money, I can promise you they're not going to get bored. And if you can find a way to calmly go slow, it will create conversation that's easy. It'll allow them to cool off. And they won't feel this pressure where the only thing they can come back with is, whoa, we can't decide all of this. It's so much. They have time to process it. So that's why we have to go slow. Here's how you do it. Stop pre-writing anything down. Don't pre-write what the 60-month is. Don't pre-write what the 84-month is. Don't pre-write what the 120-month is. Don't pre-write anything down. Writing it as you do the close allows you to control the pace in the conversation. Do you know what you look like when you do this? Voila. The big reveal, and you've got a bunch of stuff written down. You look like you're slick. You look like you got a magic closing system. You're wheeling out on them. You look just like every car dealer in the world. You look like every single car dealership they've ever been in. Okay, folks, let me show you what me and my manager have worked up for you. You get your initials right there, but that offer's good.
They don't feel special.
They don't feel special. If you are sitting there writing it as you go with a little bead of sweat on your brow and you're figuring things up and you're having a conversation, you're working for them. This arrangement, I hate the word deal, this package you put together is custom all the way through, including the arrangements. It's not, you're selling a custom product. How can you have a preconceived reveal, a slick arrangement? How could you do that with something that's custom? Maybe it's not custom. Maybe that was just something you said. Because you sure are awful slick in the clothes because you got everything pre-written. Stop doing it. You read the order off the iPad. You've got your sheet right here. You read the order one more time. Remember, just in this short time, they have forgotten over half of what you told them. They probably don't even remember the word Luxstone or Energy Max or cabinet restylers. They don't even remember that word. So this is your one last chance to say the order again, to talk about how the install is done, the down to the studs, or fully inspecting the frame with the window and capping the wood with PVC and the stone, not plastic. And you can show them all the stuff they picked. And then when you get to the bottom and the number's right there on the screen, I'm not hiding it, but I don't say the number yet. Then I go to the pad, the sheet, and I say, so just one more time, that's the demo and the inspection, the new supply lines, and I'm just reading off what I'm checking. And then when I'm all done, I lean over, look at the pad, and I go, and we can do all of that for just $26,948.46. There you go, folks.
Shut up.
And shut up. That alone took 3 or 4 minutes, where this takes 5 seconds. Flipping the paper over takes 5 seconds, and their eyes go to the smallest number on the paper, and all that other crap that you've written down serves you no purpose. Doesn't accomplish anything for you. If you go on a car lot to buy a brand new car, and the MSRP sticker in the window says 52 grand, and they got another supplemental sticker where they added some undercoating and stuff like that, and it's 56 grand, and then there's a big red sticker on the windshield that says 48. What number are you looking at? 48. The 48. The other 2 numbers are irrelevant. You're going to start talking to them at 48. If you're doing a grand reveal, that's you. That MSRP sticker and the supplemental sticker that were on the window, all they're looking at is the big red banner number. That's where they're going to start, and they're still going to negotiate with you. They're still going to have to go through the entire process they have to go through, and you have lost 2 or 3 bargaining chips. Stop pre-writing anything. Yes, I know it's going to take you, when you get to giving them their 3 financing options, and you want to quote 60 months, and you know they're going to put a $2,000 deposit, it's going to take you a few seconds to open the payment estimator and adjust the number by the $2,000 deposit and put 60 months at 9.9 and calculate. And that's good. And because you know what that means? That means they're looking at that's an exact number. He just calculated it right there in front of me. And then I go and I change the 60 to 84 and I hit that and I write that out. That's an exact number. And that means every number you give them from that point is an exact number. It's true because they see what you're doing. It gives you the ability to control the pace. Stop pre-writing anything. Name and date, order in the iPad. Read the order, then go to the page, check the boxes, lean over and look, and we can do all that for just $26,948.42. There you go, folks. And you shut up. And you're not going to pre-write anything as you go through. Now, that's how you're going to control time. Let's talk about this one, the nose. How many of you have most of your sales, as soon as you put the price in front of them, go, yes, we're going to buy? Show of hands. How many times does that happen to anybody? Most of your sales. You're a liar. Never happens. So we know that the buyers that are out there are going to say what to us several times. No. They're going to say no, right? We know that going in. Today, you know that demo you're going to do today is a 90% probability that they're going to say no several times before they get to yes. So go get them. Start collecting your no's. Don't try and avoid no because you need it. You need them to be able to say no to you. Most customers are not going to buy until the 5th to 8th no. William, what no was I on before I made my first drop yesterday? 9 or 10. Before I even dropped off the 1 year to the incentive number, the today number, I was at 9 or 10 no's through my process. So what do you think the chances are that a good portion of my jobs will close at that first discount, that first incentive at the major close? Pretty good, right? A good chunk of them. Whereas if I only collect 2 or 3 no's or 1 no, and then I make an incentive, I'm not going to get very many at the major close. I'm going to have to go into MODs and other closes and stuff like that because they still got to get 4, 5, 6 no's out of the way. So what I'm doing in the retail close is I'm collecting those no's because they're good for me. And I love it when somebody says no. It doesn't frustrate me. I'm like, another one out of the way. I got 6 and I haven't even come up off this number yet. I got 6 no's out of them and I haven't even come up off the number. You're doing a poor job with me. So let's talk a little bit. And I'm gonna just do an outline. We don't have time to do the whole conversation run through. But I want to talk a little bit about the framework of this retail. I'm going to do qualification for you and the major close. So we present the 1 year. We shut up. We get them talking. We nod our head. We smile. We repeat the last 3 or 4 words as a question. Look at them and go, tell me what you're thinking. What's going through your head right now, John and Mary? And so we get them talking. Talking. Then after they've wound down, some of the ether's out of the air, the water's dropped below their ear level so they can hear you again, because it goes like this for the first few seconds. When you put that number, they can't hear you. Finally, they can hear you. And so now you remind them that this is the 1 year number. And when the time comes, would you folks be cash or finance? And if they say cash, are the funds readily available, or are these funds you have to go get in an institution somewhere? And if they say they're going to go somewhere and get the funds, I know they're a finance customer, so I'll be talking financing options. I'm not going to tell them now that they can compare rates and go with the best deal after they look at ours in the bank. It's not time for that conversation, but I know I'm going to present financing options, and then they'll probably say again, we're going to go to our bank, and then I'll roll that conversation out. About that's great. Let me show you what we can do. Then when you go to your bank, you can compare rates, make sure you're getting the best deal from whoever you go with. And so that we can still talk about financing, and I have the ability to close it today because we're not using the go to my bank excuse. That's a whole different conversation. So I find out whether they're cash or finance. If they're cash, I'm going to immediately say, and I don't say today, I say, well, when someone's doing cash, when you place the order, whenever that is, when you place the order, we'll take a third down then. We'll take a third when we deliver your materials, and we'll take a final third only when you're completely satisfied with the project. Does that work for you? And they go, yeah. I go, that first third, would you do it with a check, a credit card, or we're going to dig up mason jars out back? No, we would do it with a check. And I'm going to write third, check, and circle. And go, what's that check number? Can you go grab your checkbook? And what's he probably going to say to me? Whoa, hold on. And I've just collected a second no while I'm still on this number. I just got another no. If they say finance, I got to talk about the good faith deposit. And, we like to get a good faith deposit, 10 to 20%. On your project, that would be $2,600 to $5,400. Does that work for you? No, it doesn't. I anchor them to a lower number. They can't do 12 to 15, but they volunteer. They can do 750. Would you do that with check or credit card? They say credit card. I write 750 CC, and I'm right there. And then I give them 3 payment options. I give them the 6 months. I give them a 60 month, and I give them an 84 month. If your first payment that you are quoting is not 60 and 84 and you're showing them 120 or 144, you are a fool. And here's why. When you start this close, you have a big fistful of bargaining chips in this pocket. These are your negotiating chips. They're your poker chips. And if I pull out and I throw 3 of them down on the table at once and I only get 1 no for them, I gave away 3 chips for only 1 no. I'm giving them 1 chip at a time, which means if I talk about the 60 and 84, 543, 413 kind of numbers, way outside their league, no way we could handle that. And I anchor them, I go, well, what if we did something around 320? And they go, no, 250, that's the most we can do. I'm going to write 250 and circle it because that's their number. And then I'm going to say, so you said 750 with a credit card and 250 with the month. That would make it affordable for you? That would take care of this project? And if they say yes, I get on the phone for an MOD call because I need permission to do all this, don't I? And if they say, no, hold up, Harold, I just got 3 no's. And that's okay. But I've traded those 3 no's for some very valuable information. Or at least what they're telling me. Maybe there's more. So let's
Harold,
say, yes.
Excuse me, and I know I've been off the grid for the last 10 days, but I'm just a little confused with the 60 and 84 a month. Like when did we, for financing, what happened to 144 months?
I suggest that you watch the video or get with Nick because you obviously are off the program. We're not talking about that's all you have. We're talking about how to negotiate. You always start with 60 and 84. Now let me finish because I'm going to tell you why. Let's say these people said, where the hell's my marker? Let's say these people had said they could only handle 250 a month. Let's say they had said, yeah, if you can do that, then that would work for us. I'm going to pick up the phone and call my manager and get one of those preferred financing programs because these are our standard that I always have, but I'm sure there's some preferred programs. And my manager is going to give me one. And so now when I calculate it, I've got to go to either 144 or 180 to get to this number. But I'm not going to go straight to it. I'm not going to wave a magic wand and come up with 253 right out the gate. You know why? Because it doesn't look real. And I gave away 3 chips to do it. So as soon as I call my manager and he gives me a preferred financing program and I've quoted 60 and 84, I'm going to 120. And 120 is going to be 303. I didn't get to 250. And what I'm going to say is, look, John, that preferred program my manager gave me, he brought it down $92 from where we were at I don't say 84, but the number here from the 432 or whatever. He brought it down $92. I know that's not quite 250, but does that work for you? Because you think some people might actually be able to handle 300, but when they tell you what they want the monthly, they're going to tell you 250. I would. If I was negotiating on payments, I'm not going to tell you I can handle up to a $600 payment. No, I'm going to tell you I can handle a $350 payment and see what happens. That's just common sense. So this person might come back to me and go, well, Harold, 3 is, but I just can't do 3. Can you move a little bit? Could you do 270? Yeah, we could definitely. I'm comfortable with 270. I just moved them $20. I could pick up the phone again, second MOD call. I'm not even in the drops yet. I pick up here I am working for these people. I pick up the phone again and I'm indignant with my manager. Mr. Spire, I appreciate the program, but that got us to 303. I told you they need to be at 250. Now, listen, they're really wanting to get this shower. As a matter of fact, he just told me he could do 270. You need to do something else. And then he would go back and forth and do something else. And now I take him from 120 to 144. And I come down to 276. And he says he can do the extra $6. And now we're closed. That doesn't mean when I go to do the financing app, I don't go, you know what? There is one other, hold on, let's see if it's still in here. And I could offer him the payment at 180 and get it down to 253 and get that comfort zone. I can still do that when I get to the financing app. But my point is, I'm not going to jump from whatever I'm up here. They say 250 and jump all the way out to 180 months, give up 4 bargaining chips and wave a magic wand and come up with something that doesn't look real because I magically got there. You don't think the people are like, whoa, okay, wait a minute. He really jumped up. What else can this guy do? Because he just jumped. We went from 400 to 250 with a snap of his. Holy cow. Yeah. So I'm at 3 or 4 no's at this point. So the people say, no, no, no. I ask them, would that work for you? Would that make it affordable? They go, no, no, we're not doing anything. Okay, I got you. And if they say they're not going to do anything, what are they going to give me? They're going to give me an objection. And it's either going to be a money objection or it's going to be some other BS. And I'm going to do the 3-step value bump. And then I'm going to do ARIO if it's anything else. So I do that on a blank piece of paper. And both of those bring it back to the money. Now I want to get another no. So the no I'm going to get now is there's a close called add, subtract, multiply, and divide. This goes back to my Pacesetter days. It's not even in the Grosso manual. But the add, subtract, multiply, and divide goes like this. Now remember, I've now done either ARIO 3-step, brought it back to the money. And I go, listen, John and Mary, let me ask you, being as how this is a custom product, one of the things that could be done, not one of the things we can do, because if you say it that way, you're going to make yourself a liar in a minute. You have to say one of the things that could be done is instead of being triple pane glass pack, we could do a double pane. That would save some money. And instead of doing 22 layers of the low E glass, we'll do one single layer on the exterior. It's a much cheaper manufacturing process to put it on the outside of the glass, just one layer. And instead of doing a lifetime warranty, we'll do a 12-month limited warranty. Won't worry about guaranteeing against seal failure, glass breakage, or any of that stuff. Use a hollow core vinyl frame, save a bunch of money. And instead of using a certified crew, I'll get a couple of our journeymen that just started this that are in training to come out and do it. We don't pay them as much. Or you could even go that far. And what are they going to say? Do they want that? No, they're going to say no. And so I go, and we wouldn't do that. So I didn't offer to do it. And one of the things we will never do, and this is why this close, this add, subtract, multiply is so important, because occasionally you'll get one, they'll close here. Second of all, you're going to get another no out of the way if you don't. And third, it sets up your qualification. You do this and it perfectly sets up qualification. So you go, no, folks, we wouldn't do that. We will never change anything about the product that we put in or the quality of our crews that are doing the work. That is not how we try and meet somebody's affordability needs. So we're going to do a triple pane window. Now you add it all back in. We're going to do 22 layers of low E. It's going to have a lifetime transferable warranty on seal failure, glass breakage, frame, sash. We're going to use that composite material for the frame. And the crew that's come out are the same people you saw in those videos I showed you a few minutes ago. They're certified by the manufacturer. We've done their background checks, their drug screens, they're properly insured, and they're paid by how happy you are. Let me ask you folks, now I'm going to divide it out to the ridiculous. Talking about all that product and the way we do it, I mean, you're talking about less than $10 a day, because 30 days in a month times $10 is $300. He wants to be at $250. You're talking about less than $10 a day. Wouldn't it be worth $8 or $9 a day to have this product on your home installed by our crews? I've reduced it down to the ridiculous. And some of them will say yes. And if they say no, I'm at number 4. And it's okay. I'm at number 4. And so now at this point, I'm ready to move into qualification. And what do I do with qualification? I go, well, folks, I guess I'm about ready to go. Were there any questions I needed to ask you or answer for you before I leave? They might have one or two. Most of the times they're going to look at you and go, no, you did a great job. Appreciate all the information. You were wonderful today. Great. Love to hear it. I'm starting to slowly pack things up. So when should I expect to hear back from you folks? And no matter what they say, I'm going to say, wow, so soon? I had no idea I would hear back in the next couple of weeks. Sounds like you're really excited about getting this Luxstone shower put in by Remodel USA. You're seriously considering it. Oh, yeah, we really are. I'll call you in a couple of weeks. Fantastic. Well, I didn't want to mention this earlier because I don't like to, come across as all pushy and everything. But since you're thinking about doing it sooner rather than later, would you like to hear how you could save a considerable amount of money by doing it sooner, not doing it today. I don't introduce today until I get that incentive. I'm not ready yet. I just say sooner. Would you be interested in learning how to save a considerable amount of money by doing this sooner? I go, yeah, sure do. Let me tell you where this money is going to come from. Remember a few minutes ago when I told you that we would never alter the quality of our product or the installation process? So the only way I can save you money is if the company can operate more efficiently. And we have found a great way to do that, and you can help us out. See, 50%, and I'm doing this on a piece of paper in front of it, 50% of the people I see in a month say yes and join the Remodel USA family. 25% of the people I see each month say no or don't qualify, and that's okay. This isn't for everyone. But this final 25%, this can either be very efficient or very expensive for us. See, typically, I have 3 appointments a day. Now, our appointment today with you was at 10 o'clock. If I'd have called you at the last minute and told you I wasn't going to be here for several hours or just didn't show up, you wouldn't be very happy with me, would you? And you wouldn't let me come back out at a later date after standing you up or trying to be several hours later, would you? See, those lost opportunities where we're chasing business from yesterday and missing appointments that have been set cost us millions of dollars, because there's not one of me, there's 120 of me. And I'll see 40, 50, 60 people, 70 people in a month. I'm in someone's home on sometimes at 7 o'clock on a Sunday night. And that's true. And you can say that because sometimes you might be running Sunday nights. And imagine the message that sends to a homeowner. In a home on somebody's house at 7 o'clock on a Sunday night, they must be busy. So I tell them, I'm literally sometimes on Sunday night at 7 o'clock in somebody's home. We're swamped. And I'm a multi-million-dollar producer for the company, and I'm not the only one. There's 120 of me, and there's no way the company can afford to miss new appointments when we're swamped like we are. So this is what we do. And you bring out that coupon, and you show them that 60% off installation, because when somebody's really excited about what I've shown them and they're ready to move forward, that's when we save a lot of money as a company, and I want you to have it. And then I go and I erase the 1-year price off of the iPad. I know what the number was because I put it in. See, folks, you just saved $2,822. I just write the savings, $2,000. They see the number change up, but I don't write the overall. And now what I do, I go into my iPad, and if I didn't get a shot to go for the close year 250, I still only go to 120 and 303 and see if he'll move up $20. And then we have a conversation. Now I make my first MOD call to get the preferred financing. And I already went to 120 as part of the major close and the today number. So now I'm making the MOD to get preferred financing. The preferred financing takes me to 144. And this drops down to 276. He says he can give me $6 and we're good. And I might still take him to 180 later after the paperwork's done, just to bring him even more into a comfort zone. That's what I'm talking about, folks. You need to write it as you do it and have that time. It will create a natural conversation. There'll be pauses while you're doing something so they can process and think. And as soon as you're done with something, write it down and look up and wait and see if they're engaged with you. Because if they're looking off or looking at each other or talking about something, don't interrupt it. Let it play out. And then when they're ready and their eyes come up and they look at you, you can explain the next thing you just did. But you got to write it out as you go for this to work, to have the time you need in the close. You need to learn these steps. You need to learn things like the add, subtract, multiply, and divide, and the ping pong. The ping pong close does not require discounting. The add, subtract, multiply, and divide does not require discounting. The return on investment close that Grasso has as part of his major close does not require discounting. So I could layer in 2 or 3 more of these anywhere I want, depending on the particular person. Maybe they're going to be selling the house in 3 or 4 years. Perfect for return on investment close. And that's how I got to 9 or 10 yesterday, because I was layering in these other closes that don't require giving money. It just makes them think about something else. Like that add, subtract, multiply, and divide. And I reduce it down to less than $10 a day. You know what? If you do that, some people are going to go, yeah, you know what? $8 or $9 a day, let's do it. Because you showed it to them in a different light.
Right.
They weren't thinking about it that way.
Right.
That's what the closes do. It shows them a different way. You do the return on investment close, and all of a sudden they realize in 7.5 years, their home, and because of this product they added, has added more value than what you're asking for the job today. And sometimes they'll look at you and go, you know, that makes a lot of sense. Let's go ahead and do it. I didn't realize that. That's good math. Let's go ahead and do it. And if they don't, they say no, and I collected another note. And none of these closes require a discount. That's the key to getting the no's. Nick, what do you want to add, sir?
I think we've maximized the situation. It's just, learn a slow, methodical process to walk this through, right? It's just like Harold laid out, do your retail close 10, 15, 20 minutes, do your qualification close 10, 15, 20 minutes, learn the verbiage to that is what my team's been working on, learn the major close, and then learn a minimum of 3 of the sub closes, the ping pong, the doorknob, the $50,000 close, the return on investment close, the
Titanic close.
Titanic close, pick out ones that fit you, right? I don't think you really need to master more than 3, but if you can master all of them, that's great, right? If you do that, you utilize your MOD, at least 2 to 3 times in every house, you give back the money. Everybody should learn the doorknob or walkout close and porch light close, whatever it is you want to call it. And as long as you're persistent, have a positive mental attitude, you're going to do fantastic. Right? I mean, it starts with attitude and it ends with persistence.
Yep. Any comments or questions from Zoom or from the room? Going once? Going twice? I'm going to leave you with this last thought. If you ever seen when you were a kid and you go to a kid's picnic or something and they do the greased pig game, they take a little piglet and they put grease or butter all over, and you get 15 or 20 small kids and they're all in a little pen trying to catch the little greased pig.
This is how I know you're from the South.
Oh yeah. Have you ever played?
They don't know what you're talking about, Harold.
Well, it's a game that we do out in the country. You can do it with a chicken too, but probably the chicken might catch the kid. So you take a small piglet and you grease them up with lard or Crisco, and you put them in a little pen with 10 or 12 little preschoolers, and there's a big prize for whoever can catch the greased pig. It is hysterical. If you're going too fast through the close, that's you. You're chasing a greased pig. See y'all tomorrow.
Sounds like a future event. Sounds like a corporate future event.
Thank you. I'm gonna win that.